So I never realized the similarities between bosses and babies. They're both inherently selfish. You know, we don't get their way, they cry and they whine until we come to their aid, the beck and call, provide them whatever it is they're crying about to obviously keep them quiet. Well, not all bosses are like that. My boss is wonderful. And with that, I'm working into another episode of The Romantic, where my goal, as always, is to enhance your movie watching experience. So The Boss Baby, this is DreamWorks' newest animated film. I'm not a huge fan of DreamWorks. They're very hit and miss. They don't have the consistency that a Pixar or a Disney has. But they've made some good franchises, whether it be Shrek or How to Train Your Dragon, things like that. So I wasn't exactly, excited about this one, but I was curious nonetheless. We hear this movie's about Tim's young boy. He's about 7 years old, and he's got the perfect life, and his great loving parents, and he has this wild imagination. He spends most of his time, playing with them, playing with the parents, and running these kind of crazy scenarios in his head and what have you, like most of us do at that age. Until soon enough, he has a younger brother, a baby brother, if you will. And all of a sudden now things have changed. He doesn't get the attention that he used to. His parents are obviously preoccupied with the baby and its needs, which is understandably so. And so now kids get jealous. He wants to kind of recapture that, and he sees his baby as the enemy, if you will. And that's when one good thing about what this movie did was to kind of show us that scenario, which most of us are familiar with who have siblings, is to give us that perspective from the child's eyes and what the kid's actually seeing. And the kid has this overactive imagination, so he sees this kid as bossing the parents around. So he has him envisions him with this nice tailor-made suit, the watch, the briefcase, and then he envisions this guy being more of a corporate mongrel, if you will, who's voiced by Alec Baldwin, who is perfectly cast as this. He is great in this movie. He's the only one that really stands out. We have Steve Buscemi, who's kind of wasted and only used really at the end. Jimmy Kimmel, Lisa Kudrow as other parents, but they're not given much to work with. So it all kind of boils down to the kid and Alec Baldwin. Now the kid's obviously trying to expose his baby as that his parents know that he's not really a baby. He's actually a grown-up, so to speak, and he's there to cause harm or whatever the case is, and try to get the parents' attention and try to maybe even get rid of the baby. And that's when and it's cool that the movie actually plays around with that. Baby holds meetings with its play dates with the other babies, and to the kid they're kind of scheming and plotting, but obviously to the adults are just kids messing around and as kids do, Google guying their way and messing up the diapers and whatever. So the kid's kind of frustrated. And like I said, that part was interesting. That part was fun. And ultimately, this movie is okay. It doesn't reach the heights of other good animated films do. It's funny. I laughed a few times here and there. I think it's really more geared towards the kids, which is fine. So parents, it's just a good way to take the kids, for a couple hours and keep them quiet. I get it. But obviously for the adults, you're gonna laugh at certain parts and kind of relate to it. But sometimes, like myself, I find myself a little bit bored at times, particularly in the last act. But that's okay. It's not the worst thing ever. I think this movie just misses the mark with giving us some of the feel, some of the heart that a lot of good animated movies do. You're so invested in the characters that, a lot of times, whether it be Pixar or Disney, you find yourself almost tearing up, or in some cases you do tear up. This one lacks that heart, and I think most good animated movies need, and also lacks a lot of the humor that's more tailored for the adults. So adults, you're gonna be fine. You're gonna laugh a little bit and giggle. You're gonna enjoy your kids laughing next to you. Kids are probably gonna like this movie a lot. But at the end of the day, it's one that's gonna be forgotten. It's not an instant classic. You're gonna watch this, and 2 hours later, you can completely forget about what you just saw. But at the time, you're gonna enjoy it. So I will recommend it from that standpoint. It's a fine animated film. Just lower the expectations. It's nothing great. Having said that, you guys wanna watch Boss Baby? Let me know. Comment as always. If you haven't done so already, subscribe below and feed money to go to the movies and talk about it afterwards. See you guys next time.